All righty. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, I should say. Sorry. So today, Roger will not be here. So as a first order of business, I would be looking for a nomination for a chair pro temp for this meeting. Double
Maybe
checking.
we should poll the group if anybody's going to be on for the full session. I know I need to drop off for a little over an hour of it.
Gotcha.
Well, this is Kevin. I would nominate our previous chair, Dave Kokot, if he would be accepting.
I do have to leave 10 minutes early, but if we can get done by 3:50, I can do the chair responsibilities.
I think that we could probably work that. And on that note, the reason we scheduled this meeting for 3 hours is because we were trying to be done by the committee meetings this Friday. After our last meeting, it's just apparent that both the IBC and the IFC tags aren't going to be ready for that meeting, nor the council meeting. So I canceled the committee meetings for this week, and we're pushing out our work for 1 month to get it done by the May or not the May, I'm sorry, June council meetings. And so, if we don't go the full 3 hours, it won't be like we didn't get as much done as possible before the end of this week. So if Dave, if you are available till 3:50, I think that covers us for most of what we got going on here today.
I can do.
I'll second
Okay.
the motion so we keep with formalities.
Awesome. So it's Kevin Mars the first and Walker was the second. And then I guess we'll take a quick voice call vote on that one.
Do we want to verify it that do we have a quorum before we do a vote, or does
Oh
that
yeah,
matter?
let's go ahead and do that. I am jumping ahead already. So give me 1 second. All right, so calling for roll. Roger Haringa is absent. Ning Wang. I'm not seeing her in the attendees list. Okay, next. I have Jacob Liddycoat.
Here.
Awesome. So you will serve as the voter for the for that seat. Look here for the architects. Next, Quinn Tai. Not seeing him in the list. Ray Shipman. Also not seeing them in the list. Next, Ken Brulette.
Here.
Gotcha. Hugo Sotelo.
Present.
Thank you. Mike Nykrum. Not seeing him in the list. Bill Mybush. Not seeing them in the room either. Then Ricky Campbell.
Present.
Thank you. Walker Danucci.
Present for the fire protection engineer seat.
Thank you. For the alternate in that one, Dave Kokot is present. Sean Morgan.
Present.
Thank you. And alternate for that one, Kevin Marr.
Present.
Thank you. And then David Mao.
Present.
Yep. Alternate for fire alarms, Zach Tuck.
Present.
Thank you. And then Lance Dahl.
Here.
Thank you. So we got 1, 2, 3. We just barely have quorum right now with 7 seats in attendance. And so if anybody needs to leave, please let us know so we can make sure that we still have an established quorum on that one. So we're good to go for a vote for the nomination of Chair Pro Tem Dave Kokot. And I guess I'd say a voice vote. All those in approval, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All righty, then I will turn it over to Mr. Dave Kokot for the beginning of this meeting.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the TAG meeting for the IFC TAG 2024 IFC TAG Tuesday, May 14th. We pretty much have gone through roll call with any introductions. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves for the record? Okay, not seeing and hearing anybody. Well, let's go ahead and move on to agenda item number 2, review and approve the agenda. It's out on the front of the screen right there. Maybe interesting is it looks like we may have a couple people that aren't present for theirs, but we'll see as we get down to that part of the agenda. Well, I'm looking for any modifications, proposed modifications to the agenda. If not, a motion to approve.
This Kevin, motion to approve the agenda is written.
Second. Lance.
Moved and seconded. Any other comment on it? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Moving on to review and approve the minutes. May 7th, 2024 meeting. I was not present, so I won't be able to add anything more to that, but looking for comments or questions or any other points from the members of the TAG. And if there are none, looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, Lance Dahl.
I'll
Thank you,
second the
Lance.
motion. Walker Dinergy.
Thank you, Walker. Moved and seconded. Any other comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Moving right along. Always like the first part of the agenda because it tends to go pretty quickly.
Feels like we get a lot done, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, now we need to go through the review of work completed and received by staff. First one up is Walker with Chapter 9.
And we left off in the middle of Chapter 9 last time at we finished up with 907.2.10.2, and I figured we would just pick it back up at 907.2.11.3. And just so you guys are aware, the building code tag wanted us to share this chapter with them as they review their Chapter 9 as well. And so hopefully we can get through this one today so that we can supply that to them so they can keep informed on that chapter.
And I'm hoping they're going to share their Chapter 10 with us.
As soon as we can get it done, I will make sure we get it done. I'll get it to you and I'll make a note of it right now.
Thank you.
Great.
All
And,
right.
and yeah, I agree, Dustin. That's where we left off. And I do have to jump off at 1:30, but hopefully we can finish Chapter 9 by then.
Will you be able to rejoin us at some point before the 3:50 time we're planning on cutting off?
Yes, I'll rejoin by 3 p.m., hopefully a little earlier than that.
Okay. If we can't get through it by the time you leave, maybe we can jump back to it when you get back and conduct other business afterwards. Or I mean,
Okay.
in between.
Sounds great.
All righty. So 907.2.11.3. I was in the process of scrolling to it when we started. And you guys are seeing my screen, correct?
Not yet.
We are not. We're only seeing there's something coming up.
There we go. Should be seeing our existing amendments report. Actually, this is the significant changes. and the Word document side by side. 7.2.11.3. Let me just make sure we're in the same spot on the existing amendments. Yes, 90, so we're in the same section here. So I will stay at the significant changes for 9072.113.
Great. Yeah, so recommended keeping this change for smoke alarms near cooking appliances.
Righty. 2.
Didn't
So it
have
looks like-
this. Yeah, looks like I didn't get this specific section in the table.
Well, it's in the significant changes part of your report, 9072.113. I'm just trying to go back and make sure I'm not skipping too far on the existing amendments.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So recommend keep the model code change. We're looking good with that one. Did we identify that this one has cost or anything?
No, I don't believe this one did.
And no state amendment recommended. 9072.12 special amusement areas.
Yeah, recommended keeping this model change. I don't believe it adds cost. This was it basically is a pointer since other requirements would apply.
Gotcha. Let's keep it on moving. We got 907.10.1 is the next significant change. 7. We are. So it'd be 907.5.2.1.2 is the next existing amendment. 5212 maximum sound pressure.
Yep, so no changes on model code for this section. So proposing to keep the existing state amendment.
Okay. And I guess if anybody has anything they want to say, please just jump in if you have comments. I'm trying to monitor hands, but I don't see any. So just as a heads up for everybody. All right, moving on. We finished up that one. So 907.841 would be the next section. .1 testing and maintenance.
Yeah, so this one recommended keeping the existing state amendment, but modifying it to not have the July 8, 2018 date, since that would be well past.
And I was speaking to the AG earlier today about stuff like this. I don't believe that this will need a proposal to strike that date from there.
Okay.
Right. 907.10.1.
Yep, provides criteria for replacing smoke alarms. So recommended keeping the model code change. This is really just coordinating between fire code and maintenance code.
Okay. 907.11.
Recommended keeping that existing state amendment.
Do you want to be changing to remove the date on that?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we should. That just that last parenthesis, yeah, should be a strikeout.
Okay. Righty. Moving on, 907-841. That's not right. Hold on. Or 908 in here and 912. So we'll go back there. Oh. 908 is reserved. Keep the existing amendment. That's fine. 909.21.12.
Yep. So this one, unaffected in the model code. So I was recommending we keep the state amendment.
Am I skipping over significant changes? 912.5 signs.
The 909 one is above there, Dustin. The state amendment.
Did I skip?
909, 21, 12, and 13.
There we go.
They're there. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Keep the existing amendments. Good to go. 21, 13. We'll get to 912 next. Nine 12.5 signs. This section here for existing amendments.
Yeah, recommended keeping the model code change. It's really just pulling the NFPA 14 signage language into the fire code.
Okay. .2.1. Keep the existing state amendment.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Nine 14 is next. 914.7.
Yeah, recommending to keep the model code changes. No cost impact per ICC.
Does this one need to be added in here? 914.311.
Yeah, I suppose we should. I think it's really just consistent with high-rise requirements we already have, but
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't find the CAH item that made that change.
7.2. Detection and alarm systems.
Recommend keeping the model change. It's really clarity and criteria for detection alarm systems for special amusement.
Gotcha. So 915.1.
Recommending to keep the model language. I believe this one overlapped with an existing state amendment. So probably look at those together. And so I modified the state amendment to align with the model code changes. I think all we need now is just that added requirement for group R2 across the board, except for college dorms, to be consistent with previous state amendment.
Gotcha. Okay, so that covers these ones. Then 915.1 is there, so 915.2.1, small state amendment.
Yes, well, now it is, but it was previously more extensive. So again, kind of reviewed what model code is doing and just added that on each level requirement to be consistent with previous state amendment.
Okay.
So that is, yeah, both those are a modification for sure.
Nine fifteen point one point 915.1.2 through 915.1.6. Skipped over those.
So that's a lot of content that was removed in the model code. But again, like I said, there's a lot of development in section 915 for carbon monoxide requirements. So I did my best to align so we'd still
Gotcha.
achieve the intent of the previous state amendments.
Two, 4.
2.4, so this is going to add requirements for carbon monoxide detection. So is a a cost increase.
And it looks like your recommendation is to keep the model code change.
Correct. Yeah.
And is that for all of these sections right here?
Yes. Yeah. Forced air furnaces, private garages, and the all other occupancies. Yeah. I mean, I think we want to keep up to date with new developments and carbon monoxide requirements. But there certainly is added cost along with some of these. So could be an area that we want to study further, like we did with the lithium ion items.
I
Would it
do
be
think
good
that
to put
some
that
of
out
these
here for
things
the-
we had in our prior code, I think that just for now, the model code is catching up to our code.
Exactly. I think that is primarily the case. Yes.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones that did it, so it's interesting just to see how it keeps evolving. But as we make changes, the model code gets changed, and we don't necessarily submit it, so everybody else is doing our
Gotcha.
work.
And do we need to come back and look at this one a little bit later once proposals and stuff start coming in?
And looking at between the two, I think that we're pretty well in line where we were before. There's a couple modifications to it, but I don't think it's anything that's very substantial.
Gotcha. 2, 5, so that kind of covers all of these. 2, 6.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well. Yeah, I agree, Dave, and I think that that's pretty well goes for all of 915 changes.
Okay. So pretty much everything in 915 model code change wise, we're saying just keep the code changes.
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha.
Brings back memories of the CO2 tags.
Was there a specific
CO
carbon
tag.
monoxide tag back in the day?
There were 3 different ones. That's why it's bad memories.
All right, 917.2, the last one in the existing or significant changes report.
Yeah, so recommending to keep the model language. It is as in cost. It does require an emergency management risk evaluation to be done for Group B occupancies with 500 or more. I'm sorry, mass notification risk analysis.
Gotcha. Come back here, we're at 915.5.1, 915.52. Delete amendment addressed in 20s. So I've skimmed over those ones. So that brings us to the end of chapter 9. I guess we would be looking for a motion to add this one to the master document as we have drafted here.
Dustin, this is Ricky. Would like to make the motion.
This is
Second.
Hugo, second.
Who was the second?
Hugo,
Alrighty. I guess we would have some discussion on this if we want. And here, no discussion. I guess we will go for a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, no opposition. All right. And then Rosanna, could you bring the agenda back up for me, please?
And we should be going to chapter 33 with Ken.
33, okay.
Yep.
And I do have to hop off, Dustin. Hopefully I didn't take out quorum.
Let me just double check.
And thanks for that work, Walker. That's a tough chapter. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. And thanks to Ken and you, Dave, for support on working through a couple of little things I hadn't caught.
Yes. So Walker, with you taking a break here, Dave, you'll be the voting member for the fire protection engineer, and we should still maintain the quorum.
Oh, we get to vote.
Great. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Take care.
Thank you, Walker. All right, give me just a moment to bring up chapter 33 after I save this stuff. So on this one, I didn't get a existing amendments and significant changes report spreadsheet back. So we're going to work just on the Word document, and then staff will compile this into a spreadsheet after we go through this. So I'm going to change the share here. All right, so we got chapter 33, and I will let Ken guide us through this document.
It's going to be pretty simple. All of the state amendments that were done for the 2018 code was based on this code language here. So all of our state amendments are going to be deleted with the exception of 3303.5. So can you help? The 33, we have a exception for new construction that's built under the International Residential Code. That would be the only exception that I would be proposing to keep. All of our other state amendments, I'm sorry, can you scroll back up again? I'll just start at this at the top, since we're probably section 3303, administrative safety controls. Delete state amendment model code language is the same. Next one, 3303.1.1. Model code language is the same. the 3303.2.1. This was a renumbering, or just adding in numbering, so delete state amendment, model code language is the same. 3303.3, daily fire safety inspection. We're going to keep that state amendment because the model code section reference is incorrect. So, and I don't know if they're going to catch up with an errata on that or not, but they haven't yet that I'm aware of. So there's two sections there that have the 3307.5, so in number 9 also. So there's the number 6 and number 9. The next one down there, delete state amendment, model code language the same in the number 10 there. That was just us putting in the correct numbering. The 3303.5 under Firewatch, that's the one I first started with, the new construction that is built under the IRC. We're not going to require Firewatch. 3303.5.1, delete the state amendment, model code language the same. 3303.521, the duties, delete state amendment, model code language the same. The training, 3303.5.2.2, and we were going to keep in that 3306.6 reference, additional reference. It's still necessary, just was not included in the model code language before. Next one, the means of notification, delete it, not needed, model code language. 3303.5.3, Firewatch location of records. Again, model code language. 3303.5.4, Firewatch records. Model code language is the same. Emergency telephone 3303.6. Delete state amendment, model code language the same. Section 3304, that got retitled protection of combustible materials. It's now titled that, so we don't need to. So what you're showing here, I see that you show it as a Washington State amendment, but you're not showing what the actual 24 code says. So
this is the document that I got back from you.
okay, well then that's my fault. So delete state amendment. I should have shown it delete. Okay, 3304.1, delete state amendment. 3304.1.1, delete state amendment. 3304.12, delete state amendment. 3304.13, rubbish containers, delete state amendment. 3304.1, spontaneous ignition, delete state amendment. 3305, ignition source controls. We don't need the title, it's the model code language. 3305.1 listed, delete state amendment. 3305.11, oil fire heaters, delete state. All these are just renumbering. 3305.12, delete state, refueling, delete, installation, delete, supervision, we don't need that one. Smoking, delete state amendment, model code language again. 3305.5 under cutting and welding, don't need that. And the cooking, the electrical, all of those portable generators, delete all the state amendment. The safeguarding roofing operations. That section, the 3305.10, yep, that's the right reference now. That's correct. So we don't need the date, delete state amendment. Let's see, all of those is renumbering. 3306, fire protection systems and devices. We don't need that. It's model code language now. Keep scrolling down again. It's all model code language. Just trying to, I don't think there was any other things that we needed to keep.
I'll just scroll through it real quick and so we can. see
Yeah, I
the
don't
bottom
think
of it.
so. So probably wanted to scroll back up just a second to the blue stuff.
Okay. Where's that? This one here.
That'll be the first one. That was the addition of cleaning, pipe cleaning and purging, and refrigerant piping shall comply with the IMC. So it's just a pointer. So it has no significant impact. Just points to the IMC. So it's not that's something that's new.
Would you
And then
say that
scroll
we
down.
should include this in the significant change report or just say?
No,
it's-
I don't think it's a significant change at all. So,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. This
And
exception here, the 33.12.1, this actually would be reducing the cost of construction, this exception number 2. So I don't think it's a
significant change.
no. It was just something that was put in to help for these mass timber buildings.
All right, so that kind of concludes our review of chapter 33. There's no significant changes identified, and one model code, or not model code, one state amendment that we'll keep, which is the exception in one of these up here. Not too far.
It was under.
Good. I'm just scrolling, trying to find it real quick.
Goes up the top with the residential,
Yeah.
unclaimed residential. There we go. New construction is built on the RCs, not applicable, exempted from fire watch.
303.5.
And then I believe the section in the WAC, the 3313 through 3318, it will just have to be changed to reserve.
Gotcha. So we are moving forward with the adoption by reference. So a lot of the WAC language is going to go away, but we'll
Okay.
keep that in mind in case there's any hitches in that process. I'm reaching back out to the state register to just make sure that we're all on the same page with what they want from us and what we're planning to do. And then I got to follow up with the AG on that for some for the language that we'll have in the WAC. But we should be on in that track to not have to necessarily file all the WAC language there. Okay, so it is motion time for chapter 33.
Lansdall, I make a motion to accept. Approve.
Ricky Campbell seconds it.
Any discussion? All right, we'll do a voice vote. All those who approve, say aye.
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 Any opposition? All right, that moves us on from chapter 33 to most likely 49. If I don't have the agenda up on my
It would be
machine.
49, and Walker was the one who did this one.
Okay. I don't think there's a whole lot in his chapter 49. Let's open it up and just take a peek at it. So he kind of made comment on the entirety of chapter 49. So this is a section that is all state amendment, and his record. Let me change so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Sorry, or are you guys seeing my chapter 49 spreadsheet?
We are.
Yep.
Okay, so his recommendation is to modify the existing state amendment to align with NFPA 130, the 2023 edition. The current NFPA 130 amendments are to NFPA 30 or 130, the 2020 edition, as adopted under the 2021 codes. There are minor modifications to existing state amendment necessary to align with the 2023 edition. I don't believe that he's got those listed out here in this text for chapter 49. But I guess it looks like we need to make a proposal when the time is right to update this section for the 2023 edition of NFPA 130. And that is the entirety of this one. This whole section just makes amendments to that document.
And I'm sure that Sound Transit will be putting together a proposal for this chapter since it kind of came from them.
Gotcha.
I expect that.
So will we be okay to make a motion to approve this one to the master document?
I don't think I'm ready to say that since I haven't reviewed all of the 2023 edition of 130 that I want to necessarily go in that direction.
Okay. Do we want to table this until Walker rejoins the group?
Well,
I think we may want to table it to see what the changes actually are. And so it's possible if Walker has another document that does show what the updates will be on it. I think that's what I'd like to see the tag vote on, rather than we know we're going to change something, we just don't know what it is yet.
Gotcha. I don't believe that I have a chapter 49 Word document back from him that shows any sort of changes. So when he gets back, we can ask him about it, and if we need to prepare a little bit more, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right,
So,
next I
next
have
page.
53.
Well, we have Quinn Ty was before me. Is I don't know if it doesn't look like we have. Oh, there's Quinn's there. So, but has Quinn joined?
I'm not seeing him on there.
Okay.
You want to go over your reports, Dave?
Yeah, let's do that. So chapter 53. And mine's kind of a mess. I used part of the report. I've actually combined the significant changes and the amendments into the same part of the spreadsheet. I didn't realize we had two different parts there, so mine might be a little confusing, but at least it's there.
Well, we have the author here to help us understand.
Yep.
Let me start with chapter 53. And we should have them side by side here. There we go.
Yeah, fortunately, there's not a lot of changes to 53, so basically down to 6.1.
53.61, 53.061, sorry.
6. There we go. So we have our own state amendment. The model code had some similar language, but it makes it recommending that we keep our state amendment, but some minor modifications. Basically, we have an exception, but did add in to our state amendment the reference to section 427 of the IBC. So they'll need some minor modification, revise that amendment to move forward.
I'm gonna do a little bit of moving around of stuff in here to put them on the right sheets, and I'll come back and edit these a little bit after we're done here.
Sounds good. Sorry I didn't get that right. I got a little busy out of town last couple weeks.
You're all good.
All right, when the code changes up there, because there really wasn't anything significant on this one that I could see with the chapters, so there was one just a little bit further up, just to scroll up a little bit. There we go. Basically, same rooms containing medical gases, so label according to NP 99. I think most people will be doing it anyways, so I don't see it as a significant change. I think just a clarification.
Gotcha.
Scrolling down, removing the 50. 306.5. We have our own amendment that we have that want to be able to maintain.
Okay.
306.51, that's just another addition to it. No problem keeping it in. And again, it's just more of a clarification, kind of following an NP 99. And just so the tag is aware, NP 99's had some history with the state because originally it was removed from reference in the fire code. It was only brought back a couple, or actually several cycles ago, that it was brought back into our code because the plumbers didn't want us dealing with anything with head plumbing in it. But we were able to argue to bring back to NP 99 from MedGas.
Gotcha. So that concludes chapter 53. Do you want to go through the document as a whole and then we can make a motion potentially to move the whole document, or you want to do it chapter by chapter?
Let's do it chapter by chapter, just to be clean.
Okay, so for chapter 30 or 53, we are ready to hear a motion to move to the master document.
This is Ken, so moved.
This is Kevin, I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? All right, we'll move on to chapter 57. Just cleaning up my tabs here, guys. Sorry. Okay, chapter 57. Looks like it begins at 5704.2.11.
There is a couple model code changes to it, but they're not significant.
Okay.
Like 5704.2.9.6.1 had some language change to it. And I didn't see any big issues with that. There we go. There's that first one there. So basically established by law that's set forth in the local adoption or other regulation adopted by the jurisdiction. That's pretty much what we've been doing anyways. The state has the requirements for above ground tanks. Some local jurisdictions are allowed to have their own. If they had a tank program going before the state had their own tank program, not everybody's aware of that, but there are several jurisdictions, City of Spokane being one of them, that we had a tank program because of our aquifer way before the state had it. So we're basically vested to maintain and operate ours as long as we're as restrictive, and we are far more restrictive than the state is for tanks. So I don't see a problem with that.
Gotcha.
Just a wording change there was a little bit, no big deal. Up went by the one, there was just up a little bit. There we go.
There it is.
We do have our amendment with adding corrosion protection for our WAC, so that recommend that remain in place.
Alrighty, 5706.5. Need to talk about this one at all?
I think that, yeah, 6.5.5, this 5.5705.5, this is a lot of just wording changes. This is dealing with the alcohol-based hand rubs. So they've added word dispensers and where they're located to not obstruct the access, some renumbering of some sections. I didn't see that anything here was a significant change, just more of a clarification.
Gotcha. 6.5.
Here we have just, again, the same references before as set forth by the fire code adoption or other regulation adopted by the jurisdiction. It's just a good clarification that, the code is acknowledging that there are some additional codes and standards that are over and above what the model code is. So no significant change there.
Five, 4, 5.
Now we start getting into some of the more interesting ones. 5706.5.4 just is basically just clarifying some of the terminology for that. They've added in another reference to chapter 23 and regarding how the operation of the marine craft and things to be are addressed. We specifically 706.5.4.5. That was, yeah, that's what I did here. And then we did some modification with that. And then number 12 is we've added in our own specific amendment regarding the field delivery vehicles themselves, what they're supposed to be supplied with. And the model code had some other additional language that we actually have in another area. So it didn't make any sense to maintain that. So I recommend that we make that slight modification to that piece there. We'll see a few more of those as we go down here. So
So your
just-
modification was the striking of this language here in our amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
They've kind of separated things out a little bit as best I recall. It's been a little while since I've seen this. So, and there is another item that we add. We have one of ours. It'll have to be added to the end of this. We have another state amendment moved on to it.
And you said that this will need to be moved?
No,
to-
that one is fine there. We'll have it. I think I've added it to the bottom as a proposed change of my other document, the other document there. Oh,
Gotcha.
I guess I didn't. Yep, I should have done that because when there is a I think actually, as I did said, we moved to 26, but I have to see what. Let me grab my copy here.
Here we are. So. How are you today? Okay, so right in the middle. Vertical and midway. So you're on fine.
Yeah, I think what I did was I was able to edit 12, so we did not have to move it to 26.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, I think it's important if we scroll to the top just to show that they added the class 1.
Right. Yeah, that was a key one too.
Yeah, that was
It's
the
just
biggest
a
one.
little teeny blue there, but they did add class 1.
And that
Yeah.
was to correspond with the mobile fueling section. It didn't make any sense that for commercial, industrial, and governmental sites that you couldn't dispense class 1, but they had a
Right.
whole section for mobile fueling that allowed it. So that's what was agreed upon nationally to do that. And then they got rid of the word permitted and put in approved.
Right.
So that was the other big
Right.
change. But it's funny because I just got the phone with Shell Oil over this today because we're bringing this class 1 early to the R21 code to try to help them out in their big industrial sites.
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I had up there. The one that was in red was the old code, so we could see what it was, and they did make that change. So, yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Then we get to 5707, which is a lot of modifications on here. And this is pretty much because what we've been doing is we have RCW language that provides a lot of direction for us. So with the mobile fueling and on-demand fueling, they've added a couple things to the model code. And there are some pieces in particular, as we go a little bit further down, they call it tier versus just calling it type. My recommendation is I like to see as small and less amendments that we just change it from type to tier, follow the model code. There's a couple of sections down below that we've had some modifications for amendment that we took out because they've now added some of their requirements in that we had from ours. So I think that was, we were pulling stuff from the codes. A lot of stuff we had will end up being put into the code. So seeing a lot of red there, stuff that is now in the model code, which was our amendments before. I didn't leave them green, sorry about that, but just basically striking those. That's a lot of our amendments going out because they're in the model code.
Okay.
We go down to, I'm sorry, what was that?
This is not me.
Okay. Or whoever it was. So we do have some things that you go ahead and keep scrolling down because that's right, there's the new language. Then there is the proposed or the language here for the tiered sites. Mobile fuel areas we had before. Now the model code is putting some more into that and 5707.4. So that one's the language is in the IFC. So striking the amendments all the way from 4.1 to 6.4, everything is in the IFC now.
So if you can't find this from that back and forth, I'll understand that it's like $4 top of all. So part of it.
It doesn't look like I got all that in there, so I'll make sure I'll take a look at that one more time. I'll probably want to take a look at this before we take a vote on it again.
Okay.
There was a big thing.
570764.
Yep, 6.4. And then we go 6.5 nighttime deliveries. We have a specific black, so I want to keep the amendment. 6.6, they just we're basically now the language is currently in the FC. So
Okay.
that looks like I do need to do a little bit more cleanup on that before we can move this forward, just to make it a little bit clearer, because it's been a little while since I looked at this and I'm confused by, I did say 6.4 and it's not cleared up, so I want to make sure I get that right.
Okay. So we'll hold off on chapter 57 for the time being. And Dave, are you looking to take this back and do a little bit more on it?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
And 61, we go to that next.
Low income assistance, senior assistance, and
So that's the main thing. Yeah. So often I'm assuming from the before
All right.
Okay, so 61 doesn't have too much for amendments till we get down to 6104. There is a change here that talks about, and I'm gonna leave it to the tag to consider with this one here, as I didn't necessarily consider this a significant change, but it does set a limit of tanks that storage can aggregate capacity of 2,000 gallons. I don't necessarily think that's a significant cost change or code change, but I want to see what code code, other members of the tag think about it. And if there is no comment,
No hands.
you can scroll down into 108.1. Okay, this is basically, we do need to have the amendment, we do need to keep it. The model code language itself is just pretty simple, and we have a little bit more specific requirements. There is the RVQ stuff starts showing up in this a little bit as well, so I'd like to keep all that in place.
Okay,
What we're talking, Michael, is over here.
and that's it for chapter
I don't
61.
know how to
it
handle
looks
that.
like.
Yep, just that one other slight wording change where it says has the potential to be built on, to me, that's not a significant issue.
Gotcha. So it looks like we are ready for a motion to move chapter 61 to our master document.
Dustin, this is Ricky Campbell. I'd like to make that motion.
Hugo Sotelo seconds that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Is there any opposition? Alrighty. So the next one on our agenda would be chapter 32. Not seeing,
Chapter 80.
oh, chapter 80, I'm sorry, yes.
Not that this one's personal for me, but it's personal.
All right, give me one moment to pull that one up.
So chapter 80 is our infamous amendment to allow the removal of fire sprinklers from the pits of hydraulic elevators.
Correct. FPA.
And all we had to do is add in our amendment. That it's the same section, same reference to the hydraulic elevators. So by putting that in there, this will be the last time we'll have to do this probably, because the next version of the code, NFPA 13, will remove the requirements for sprinklers and pits.
All right. And then there's just, I see a lot of blue in here. Is it just a little bit of renumbering in it?
That's all that, yeah, we just go to have the more current version that was reviewed for the NFPAs before we did that, and that's throughout all these. They have added some additional references that are in here, but that's nothing significant. They're all just standard references that we regularly use.
Okay. Then it will be time for the motion.
Do we have to look at making the change to the 130 then? NFP 130? So
It's
you
not-
don't,
Looks like we
yeah,
have,
yeah, we
Yes.
don't show the state amendment in there.
will that be a new proposal then?
I think it
I
was,
believe so
isn't,
for this one, yes.
well, isn't it
Well,
already
just
a
a-
whack?
Well, we have the whack in the previous chapter. So for chapter 49, but it's not listed in our reference standards, I don't believe, but I will.
We'd want to do an amendment to do that, add that in. But I don't know if they do that at
No,
this point.
it's in, it's NFP 130-20 is in our reference standards in the whack.
Okay.
And we have a few others in here too.
Oh, okay. I only took the one, so yeah,
Yeah,
we do need to
I
get
just
those
don't know if the
in
other
place.
ones, yeah, I don't know if the other ones need to get added or if we just
Okay,
brought them through
Let-
early, I don't know.
let me take this and go through all the rest of those and make,
Okay.
before we do any vote on this, we'll table it. Yeah, and give me a chance to get through, make sure I got these other ones addressed.
Okay, so then we won't be making a motion on chapter 80 today. So going back to our agenda, we have chapters 12, 24, and 31 by Quinn, who is not here. It doesn't mean we can't look at them, but we do have chapter 32 by Jacob Liddicoat that we can take a look at, and I will move over to that one now.
An exciting one. I've been waiting all day.
All right, this one's no significant changes, and looks like we have no amendments in there.
No existing ones, no changes. This is why I've been waiting all day. I figured either I did this right or I was about to learn something. So
well, just for the sake of being thorough, let me open up the chapters here. Pop to a different folder.
the actual text changes were very minimal. They're clarification.
This one is 32. Yep, have that one labeled as no existing amendments in here. And pulling up the Word document. All right. 18 pages. Looking for big blues.
If you go too fast, you'll miss all of it.
Next book's gonna have changes on it, I'm sure.
Oh, here it is, the automatic sprinkler system change. All right, flu spaces. Anybody have anything to say about 3208.3? All right, I guess it's time for a motion for chapter 32.
This Hugo, motion to approve chapter 32.
Lance, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition? All righty, done with chapter 32.
So Dustin, I took a look quickly at 57, so I could actually see what I did. I
Okay.
think it's actually done. I thought I did it by paragraph or by section. I didn't. I just put all of our state amendments in one area, marked them all off, and all the new text is following that. So I think that was the confusion I had. So I think we bring it back up, we may be able to vote on it.
Okay.
So we go to 5707.4.
2707.4.
7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4 what confused me is there's all the way down to 5707.4. That's our existing amendment crossed off in red, but and the new one is in the black. 4.1 all the way down to 6.4 is crossed off, and now you have 4.1 to 6.4, which is the model code. So
Okay,
basically eliminating all of our amendments in favor of the model code.
okay.
And I think that's
Um,
what the sheet said, but I couldn't picture it until I just look at it.
do not keep amendment languages in the IFC. I'd say that that is just like what you just said.
Yep.
And so we could entertain a motion to move chapter 57 to our master document.
So moved. I make the motion. Lance?
I got a question. It's Ken. Can you
Okay.
scroll up a little bit to the 5707.2? Okay, so
they have we had type, and that's being removed, and we're switching it to the tier.
okay, just want to make sure we didn't have any other changes in here, because I remember John Sue and you guys were making some changes, but the quantities 10 gallons.
And those are just everything that's there in the black is the model code, new model code.
Got it. Okay, thanks. So
Yep,
is that
yep.
so we're just proposing to delete our amendments? Got it.
Delete our
Okay,
amendments. Yeah.
perfect. Thanks.
All righty. Do we have a second to Lance's motion to approve 57?
This is Ricky, I'll second it.
Is Ricky? All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? All righty. That takes care of that one. As far as the rest that we have on our agenda, we have chapters 12, 24, and 31, the work done by Quinn Tai. Since we have quite a bit of time till 3:50, I think we should go ahead and look at it. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
And
Okay.
maybe we can hold off on a vote until Quinn can present. I don't know what would be the will of this group.
We have that time. I'd like to just go ahead and go through it.
Okay. Start with chapter 12. I don't have a Word document to go with these chapters, so we will open up the spreadsheet. It should be, oh, and then I'll get in there and open up the Word documents. Chapter 12, coming up. Let's see here. 1.1, we have some blue in there. That's probably gonna need me to look up the whack in here as well. So we have some amendments for scope in 1201.3 mixed system installation. Minimize that, and we got both of those in here in the existing amendments report. For 1201.1, says modify / leave alone. A portion of the WAC has been adopted by the ICC, but reference to 5154A-1207 still applies. So this section here, I believe, is what he's saying still applies. And we should keep that amendment.
Yeah, I don't see it that way.
Okay, well, now's the time to talk about it.
Well, that section says it refers to 1207, right?
Yes,
And what's the base code language say?
section 1207.
Yeah, energy storage system regulated by section 1207, which that's what that WAC was pointing to, shall comply with this chapter as appropriate and NFPA 855. So I'm trying to figure out why we still need that pointer.
Is it potentially the amendments we have in this section that makes it still relevant?
Aren't these, a lot of these amendments, Ken, aren't these ones that we pulled from the 20?
Yeah, they
24.
are that we pulled from the 24, and that
Right. So we would no longer even need this one. I'm pretty sure that's what Quinn will have in his, that we don't need to. I'll see what it says on the spreadsheet
Okay.
for
Let's
1207.
yeah, well, yeah, the
12.
1207.1, we're gonna probably be keeping that amendment, I think.
Yeah, he's saying
but,
reevaluate the section since there have been some changes.
Yeah.
2024 model. We need to look at this further to modify the WAC.
Yeah.
But under the scoping section, I don't think we need to
I don't
make a
think we need it either.
modification to the scope.
Mhm. It's part of the section, so.
That didn't get spelled right. All right, so this one is probably one that needs more work just to coordinate this section with 1207. Okay, 1201.3, is that fair to say we'll come back and talk on this one?
I don't think we need to talk on the scoping, the 1201.1.
Okay. So you're putting forward that we should just delete the state amendment for this section.
Yes.
Okay. And is that what we want to do as a group for section 1207.1?
Can we wait till we get there?
I meant 1201.1, apologies.
Yeah, 1201. No, I'm sorry. That's just me.
Over 1.3. That's just a change in the number.
1201.3, we added in the mixed systems are. Yeah.
Yeah, so 1201. Right,
Point
well,
three.
yeah. And
We
we've
can delete-
also,
We can delete that.
but there's a modification to the numbering because it changed from 104.8.2 to 104.2.2. So if we just delete it, then we're done.
Okay. 1205.1. Keep the WAC amendments. Get to them. Not in the wrong spot here. So this one was 1204.1 in the 2018, so that one's reserved. Okay. So I'm not sure I quite follow this one. 1204.1 in the 2021 code is reserved. 1205.1 in the 2021 code has changes. And looking at what we got.
Dave, do you know how many code cycles this has gone through that R 1205.1? If it's just a 2018 or was this a 2015 change? Do you remember? And I don't know if Dustin scrolls down, it might show
Yeah,
us
this,
that the
there's
WSR.
actually, the
number.
2018 is when we moved it. It used to be in 605. And it got moved to chapter 12 in the 18.
But did we make any changes to it besides just moving it? I don't remember.
But there was some changes done to it because the
Okay.
solar stuff is kind of a mess. I'm gonna be dealing with the residential code on an issue with it.
I know we want to try to correlate this code versus the residential code
Yeah,
in this
Yeah.
cycle. Because like
because we have our amendment for exception number 5 that didn't get put into the residential, and it's getting confused. People aren't applying it, even though the residential code refers to the fire code. So I'm gonna put a proposal in to clarify that.
Yeah.
So the general. I can see where he's saying we probably want to take a look at it because you look at 1205.1 and there are there's some differences, and I think it could be a good idea just to go through and make sure. Looks like our amendment does need to be maintained, at least part of it. And he's recommending keeping that.
Okay. If anybody's having problems seeing all this, I can do it differently. I'm just trying to get all the information up on the screen at the same time. So 1251, 1251, and so do we need to cut? So should this one be marked as needs further review?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's worth it.
Okay, 1205 is probably for the whole section for solar photovoltaic.
Yeah, I think all 1205 we need to review.
Mm-hmm.
Skip over to 1206 now. Stationary fuel power systems. It's got 12061.
And this is when we started pulling stuff from the code here, the newer code. So I know there's a lot of these that we can remove because Ken, I think you worked on this a lot, did you?
It looks like he's got this one marked as can remove state amendment since it's the same wording.
And
6.5 residential use. He says it is the same language.
Yeah, my review 1206 is just delete all our amendments. In 1206 it matches what's in the
and that
24.
matches what he has too, so
Want to move past 1206?
Yeah, well, yeah, just
we're
go
good
along
there.
with all his recommendations are good.
And
Mhm.
the last one, 1207.1.
And this is the one that we were referring to from the general part of the chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, saying review it. And I would think we would want to go to the new language. And what do you think?
Am I muted?
No, I hear you.
Okay, I got 3 screens running and I can't tell if I'm muted or not. I wrote keep amendment, but and the only reason is I remember Micah was, and I didn't agree with him, I don't think. Micah, they put through this amendment, or actually the State Building Code Council put through this amendment.
With the different capacities?
Well, it just, yeah, so shall not ESS in group R3 and R4 occupancy not exceeding thresholds in section 1207.11.4 shall comply with sections 1207.11 through 1207.11.9. That was the language that they put in because they didn't understand the exception as written.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
I
there was
thought the exception as written was
conversation.
fine. So I that's why I'm thinking that I put in originally the proposal was exactly at the model code language for that exception.
Mhm.
Building Code Council came back with our state amendment we have now. So I don't know if we want to go back against what they changed or just keep what they changed.
Mm.
Should we label it as needs further review or so Quinn's recommendation is to reevaluate it some more.
So yeah, 1207, let's just say, let's do further review for 1207.
All right, so that'll wrap up chapter 12. Do we want to hold off on this until maybe Quinn joins us at the next meeting?
Yeah, I recommend that.
Okay.
At least we have some background on what it is and where we're looking at, so it kind of helps with that. And the other two don't look like they're going to take too long.
I don't know.
It's not a regular council meeting. Not everybody has to have their say. Oh, I didn't put myself on mute.
All right, 2404. Let me get the chapter opened up. All right, he's got 240421. Let me just make sure we got that one down here for 1207. Needs more evaluation anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so 240421.
421.
Wrong document, sorry.
Only 404.2.1.
Thank you. I got fat fingers today.
Then they're done now.
Okay, it's not wanting to find it. Okay. We'll just scroll. 2404.2. No longer need the amendment because the model code now reflects the WAC with a slight difference of making 2404.3.5 as 2404.3 in the 2024 code.
Okay.
So looks like the model code covers it. 2.1.
Finishes. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, looks good. And then
You want to go ahead and accept this one, or
I would yield to the tag decision. If you want to approve this one, I don't think Quinn would probably have a qualm with that one.
I think I'd like to take a vote.
I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't quite catch that last one.
Let's go ahead and do a vote to move forward.
Okay.
So I don't think there's anything technical here that they're going to have to address. It's pretty straightforward.
Gotcha. So can I count that as, well, you're the chair, so need a motion on this one.
Yeah, Lance Dahl, I'll make a motion. Approve.
Do we have a second?
Oh, sorry, I'll second Ken.
That was weird. Ken was trying to find the screen again.
Yeah, I was.
All right, all approved or all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All righty.
Chapter 31. Yeah, it's actually kind of quiet at City Hall is happening. Usually it's noisy at this time. I have to keep putting it on hold or mute. That's the challenge of having two offices.
Come on. Okay, 3103.5. Oh, use period. I thought that was a suggestion on the formatting of the sentence. All right. Looks like it's moved sections. Code amendment still valid. So the amendment just adds this last sentence. Says they shall comply with the IBC. Sounds pretty good.
Yep, I've definitely used that one a lot.
So, with nothing further on this one, except for some numbering changes, water-filled vessels.
And again, it was not.
Waiting for Lance to speak up because he gets to see a lot of these.
Say again, I missed that, Dave.
So you see a lot of tents, so I figured you'd speak up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I didn't see anything terrible in there. I think it looks good and addresses most of
There's a
what we're
simple stuff,
getting.
says the permits already and inflatable. That's the only big thing is adding the inflatable amusement devices. So I think that's all good.
All righty, so then can we have a motion to approve chapter 31?
Yeah, Lance, I'll make a motion to approve 31.
This is Hugo, I'll second.
All righty, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, so that will conclude us on our agenda for today.
Yeah, so Walker won't be back in time to do his chapter 49.
Yeah.
Do we want to look at it before he gets back or?
Well, we kind of went over it a little bit.
Okay,
We just, I think we're waiting on Walker to maybe have some more insight on NFPA 130.
that's right. That's right. Yep. Okay.
And so on our agenda, next we would have other business. And I guess I would like to just ask if everybody's feeling a little bit of a pressure release from not necessarily having to have this all ready by this Friday and by the council meeting next Friday, and how everybody feels about the task at hand now, having another month to complete the reports. And I just kind of open up for conversation. Hugo, looks like you have your hand up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put my hand up. I was applauding. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I think this is a good thing because having gone through enough tags, this was kind of a hard push to get a lot of this stuff done quickly, and we got a lot of people that haven't been involved in the tags before, just kind of understanding how things go. We're kind of taking little footsteps here, and I think we're getting a little bit more comfortable with where we're at and having a little bit more time. We'll be able to catch some other things that in the past we ran through so fast we didn't really get to catch it. And that's my worry again, was we were going to go through so fast we're going to miss those obvious ones that could later on somebody says, well, how come you guys didn't talk about this one? Oh, it never came up. So it's good that we're going through these in a little bit more detail than we have in the past.
Gotcha. And does everybody feel comfortable with that time frame? So it pretty much gives us 4 more weeks to get it done. And I would propose that we don't necessarily need 3-hour meetings every week. And so I'm thinking next week we would just do the 2 to 4 if that's still attractive to everybody here.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. Lance Dahl here. I'll have my chapters finished this week. I'm just putting some finishing touches on. Like Dave said, it's a new process to me, and I'm just trying to make sure that I get it right for you guys.
Okay. Is anybody having any struggles outside of the formatting stuff that we kind of talked about at a previous meeting? Need any additional help or anything like that? All right. Seems like everybody's doing pretty good then.
I think we're anxious to start getting new proposals and start getting in some debates.
Yes. So with the push of our reports deadline for 1 month, that'll push the code schedule all by 1 month for the group 1 codes. And I'll be working on getting out a new schedule to post online for everybody. And I should hear later on this week and maybe beginning of early next week, be able to get the tag page on our website back updated with documents that we need there. And I think that's all I have for anything other business related, unless anybody else has anything else that they'd like to share or comment on.
I do. It's Ken. The tag recommendation for the NAFED, I thought, was it going to committee before council, the next committee up, or were you taking it straight to council at the next council meeting?
Well, to be honest, I didn't consider that one when we canceled the committee meetings. So at this point, we'll be taking it straight to the council.
Okay.
Dustin, this is Walker. Just letting you know that I just rejoined.
Gotcha. Well, that brings us back to your chapter. We kind of looked at chapter 49.
Okay.
And the question came up, is there input on the changes in NFPA 130 that you have evaluated to bring it up to date to the 2023 edition?
I have not gone through that in detail. I can, and I downloaded the updated report, Dustin, and it looked like the recommendation was to update it. I just wasn't sure when I had done mine, but yeah, if we're going to update to the current NFPA 130, I can review that. I quickly did, and I thought existing state amendments would still be easy to incorporate, but some of the section numbers had changed.
Okay, is that the main change that you see is just some section renumbering?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull those documents up here real quick.
Did you guys make it through the other chapters?
We went through everything else. We were just about to log
Awesome.
off, honestly.
Yeah, you timed it just right to keep us on a little longer, Walker.
Thank you, Walker.
Sorry, and you're welcome as applicable. We can get through one more chapter. And I do think this will be quick.
Yeah, I think we've kind of already done the review of it, so it's just a matter of a couple clarifications and actually getting it. So what are we going to be doing with it? So.
Okay.
So, like I said, there is no chapter 49 in the model code.
Correct.
So here's what we got going on as far as code language to go with this. So this is all just copy pasted over here into this section.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go
we-
through. I can
ahead.
go through those existing state amendments in the 2023 edition and update them. Like I say, I think there's just a few section numbers that change.
Okay. So would it be safe to say we don't want to vote this one to the master until we can kind of look at the way those changes happen?
Yeah, and I can get that to you by Thursday
Okay.
so that we get it next Tuesday.
Then I guess we will re-put chapter 49 on for next week's agenda. And then anything else that comes in this week by Thursday, we'll also include in that agenda. And I think we made some good progress here. I know that we've received the chapters back for chapter 10 within the IBC. So this Thursday, I will prioritize that chapter so that we can try to get through it. And then I will be sharing our chapter 9 with the IBC tag this week as well, just for them to talk about chapter 9 at the next meeting after this week's. And that's all I have for everybody, unless there's more comments, questions, or concerns.
I still got one more question. When you said you're pushing everything, does that mean the submission period is pushed from May 25th
Yes,
to
sir.
June 25th?
Yes, sir.
Is that something that the council has to approve, or you just do it
It's
as?
gonna be on the agenda for the council meeting, so if we want to change it, it'll happen at that time.
Okay. All right, thanks.
And
There's
just an update on the fire service rep position, still waiting on the governor.
Gotcha. And then as far as open tag seats, we do have the executive committee meeting this Friday instead of the other standing committees to formalize some appointments. So we should have some new members coming in if everything goes well at the meeting on Friday. And so that should be online as well now if you guys wanted to attend that meeting.
Will do.
All righty. Well, Dave, since you are the chair, I will let you do the formal closing of the meeting.
Yeah, with no other agenda items, all business concluded, well, the meeting was adjourned.
All right, I appreciate everybody's work so far and look forward to completing it before the end of before the next council meeting. Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.
Take care, everybody. Appreciate everybody's efforts.
Thank you.